Yo, what's going on? Art from Woodward Sports MMA. You can find us at woodwardsports.com. Some breaking news / interesting takes on the Tony Ferguson situation. Obviously, the fight with Khabib not happening anytime soon. Dana White had said that he would get to the point of having an asteroid hit the Earth to schedule that fight again. That would be the 6th time that Khabib and Tony could possibly face off. But I don't see that happening anytime soon because in a recent interview with ESPN, Ferguson had hinted at possibly moving up to welterweight. If you don't recall, Ferguson actually competed in welterweight when he faced the Ultimate Fighter series and went up. Of course, that was, Lesnar and Dos Santos. So it'd be interesting to see him return back to the division, and opens up a whole bunch of questions as far as who should Tony Ferguson face in the welterweight division. When you look at the stacked rankings, obviously you have Usman as the title holder. Then you have Covington, Burns, Leon Edwards, and Jorge in the top 4. I don't see that being a potential fight for Ferguson. Obviously entering a new division after not being in it for so long, you got to kind of start at the bottom. What I did notice though is there was a couple picks that I would love to see Ferguson fight at. A fight with RDA would be phenomenal. Wonderboy Thompson, that one sticks out more than anything just because of the two different styles. Obviously, with Wonderboy Thompson being a karate expert and keeping the distance, I'd love to see Ferguson and Wonderboy face each other just because I think Ferguson would be the one to kind of cut that distance short, get on the inside with elbows. Regardless, it kind of opens up the picture for Ferguson's career for the rest of it, who he's going to face next. Obviously, Khabib, Gaethje, they're fighting each other. Ferguson's last loss was to Justin Gaethje in May, which personally pained me. It made me physically sick watching Tony Ferguson lose that 12-fight win streak against such a tough opponent with Justin Gaethje. That fight ended early in the 5th round, and I still remember to this day, even though it happened in May, it plays back in my head with Ferguson being one of my favorite fighters, him shaking his head after getting violated by Justin Gaethje. But it kind of brings the question, who should Ferguson fight in the welterweight division? Usually when fighters move up in weight, it's because they're done with that weight class. I don't think Ferguson's done with the lightweight division. He still has a lot of work that could be done there. And obviously with having that 12-fight win streak all in the lightweight division, I don't think he's going to leave there and just stay out of the lightweight division. I think a move up to welterweight is a smart move for Ferguson, especially if he wants to fight in 2020. You don't have to cut as much weight. You could kind of test out a new division. And there's so many fighters that he could fight. Even when you look at the top 15 in the UFC rankings, you have Anthony Pettis, which he did beat a while back, so I don't see that fight happening. But could you imagine a Ferguson versus Nate Diaz? That would be phenomenal. I mean, that would be a ground game fighter's dream to watch that happen as they both, sprawl each other out and try and dominate on the ground. Obviously, Nate working with Gracie Jiu-Jitsu and Ferguson being a dominant submission artist and also a phenomenal striker, both on the ground and standing up. I'd love to see that fight happen, but I can't help but keep going back to the Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fight, just because when you look at Thompson, he's been out for a while. And it would be great to see him return to the octagon, facing the newcomer with Tony Ferguson, moving up to welterweight. I think that would be a MMA fans' dream to watch that fight happen. I think that we will see Tony Ferguson fight again in 2020. I don't think it will be in the lightweight division. I mean, when you look at it, as Tony Ferguson says, McNuggets with Conor McGregor and Ferguson facing off, that fight probably won't happen just because there's plans of getting McGregor and Dustin Poirier to fight for a possible title contender fight as well. So I think Ferguson's best move in this situation would be to move up to the welterweight division. There's so much talent available in that. Even a fight with Neil Magny or Luque would be a good fight too. Jeff Neal, there's so many fighters in the top 15 that Ferguson could pick to kind of go back to that division. That would be interesting to see what happens. I think that us MMA fans want to see Ferguson back in the octagon. It's been since May. Like I said, that devastating loss to Justin Gaethje, kind of leaving that division for a second and testing out, not even a new division, because if you look at Tony Ferguson's record early in his career, he was knocking people out in the welterweight division. Regardless, all MMA fans, if you don't want to see Ferguson come back in 2020, you're insane. You're not an MMA fan. He's one of the most violent, dominating fighters in UFC history. Every single time he puts on a performance, it's one to remember. He has no problem getting bloody. I mean, if you remember that Anthony Pettis fight, He was covered in blood, smiling. Like, that is his world. So hopefully the UFC sets up a match with Ferguson at the welterweight division. It needs to happen. When you look at December 12th, and I'm going to do another video today, later on about what's going to happen December 12th, but it would be great to throw Ferguson on that card. Of course, I don't think it will be a headlining spot. There's too many potential fights. We'll talk about that December 12th card later on. But who should Tony Ferguson fight in the welterweight division to kind of come back as a welcome party? I think either Wonderboy Thompson. I don't think Damian Maia. I think he's on his way out. I think that it would be wrong for the UFC to set that fight up because it would honestly be depressing. I think we all know how that fight would go. But then again, Maia has surprised us before. Regardless, Ferguson possibly hinting at a welterweight return. It would be great regardless. And of course, we'll keep you updated here at Woodward Sports. You can find us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at Woodward Sports. Make sure that you check out the website too if you're watching that from here. We appreciate it greatly. And make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube. If you're watching this video on YouTube, give it a like, subscribe, share it with your friends. We're going to have a bunch more content and a bunch more MMA and esports news. My name is Art from Woodward Sports MMA. Thank you so much for watching.